I needed a new moisturizer, so I bought 4. And not only do I not regret these purchases, it saved me time and money in the long run. I think there's a common joke, both done in bad faith, like targeted at making fun of women, and also in good faith, done like in the company of friends, of, oh, you can't decide? Just buy them all. Just like, why make a decision? Just buy them all. And often it's said as like an in-jest, tongue-in-cheek, like, we know this is a bad financial decision, but just do it anyways. But I'd like to push back on that and say it is not always a bad financial decision if you do it right. And I've mastered the technique. Here's how I turn this into a shopping strategy when I go into a store to reduce decision fatigue and also allow me the freedom to basically build my own, like, trial sampler set. I've done this across so many different product types. I've done it for underwear. I've done it for skincare products. I am also currently in the process of doing this with finding a new electrolyte mix. You can do it for so many things. Now, there are sort of a checklist you should go through of what deems a product like a good candidate for this method and one that I would not suggest for this method. For example, high cost items like electronics, not a great use for this, especially things that are non-consumables like electronics. So like, I'm not saying if you can't decide between like 4 laptops to buy all 4 laptops, okay? We're not going that far, but there are categories of products and products that you can find in your life that I think that this method will really help you with. So I'm going to kind of walk you through an example of like what I did with this as sort of our case study, my moisturizer, and then kind of go into why I think it's so beneficial. But I think you'll probably just pick up on some of that as I talk about how to do this. So I went into a store in New York City called Senti Senti, and it is a like Asian beauty store and very overwhelming. Similarly overwhelming to like going into an Ulta or Sephora, but I feel like extra overwhelming because there is a good chance that some of the packaging you can't read unless you can read Korean and Japanese, which I personally cannot. So a little bit overwhelming, and sometimes there are products you're maybe less familiar with. But for this moisturizer, I went in and I was filling my cart. I had so many options. I'm sitting hunched over like this one corner where I could get cell service and trying to like voraciously Google to see reviews, to see more details about these things. And I finally narrowed it down to 4 items, and I genuinely could not decide. And here's the thing. I decided I don't have to decide. If you have it narrowed down to something like this, like something manageable, it's all in the cart. All in the cart they went, and I checked out. I basically put these all in my pantry where I keep like extras of toothpaste, toothbrush, toilet paper, things like that, and set it up as like a little shopping center for myself, like a mini store. And I looked at my products and was like, okay, which one do I want to start with? This was so good because I had just finished using, hold on, this is my bag of empties over here. I had finished this Dynasty cream, the Beauty of Joseon Dynasty cream, and I liked it, but I didn't love how it kind of makes your skin feel a little bit tacky after you use it. So I was like, you know, maybe there's something that I like more out there. So I think I started with this guy and I just, you know, went about, I don't think I need to explain to you how I use moisturizer, but basically just went about my day-to-day as normal. And then when I would run out, I would go back to the closet to my little stash and I would say, okay, which one do I want to try next? And then at the point where I've used all of them, I kind of go through and evaluate, like, which ones would I rebuy? Are there any that I'd rebuy? Or do I want to go back to the store and just try this process all over again and get 4 more? The idea is that can't make a decision, you narrow it down to maybe your top like 3-4 contenders. You buy like a little bit of each one. When I did this with underwear, I just bought like 1 pair of each different, I was looking for organic cotton underwear that I liked. I just bought like 1 pair or one of each style at different brands, and was doing a bunch of comparison testing. And similarly with my electrolyte powder that I'm doing now, I bought like a sample of each. If there's a sample size available, like a travel size or something like that, I will do that. If there's not, I will just buy whatever small quantity there is to, again, like I said at the beginning, kind of curate my own product sampler. But the reason that works is that I think when there's longer periods of time going in between using products, I often forget what like my immediate preference is. Like, it's easier, the closer in comparison things are, the easier they are to have like an immediate point of reference for. The second thing that I find helpful with this method is that you cut down on decision fatigue. When I was in that Scentsy store with like 10 items, and I'm just like, and then I did all that work to narrow it down to 4, and then I was like, I genuinely cannot decide. Like, at that point, it's like when you're in a candle store and they have those little things of coffee beans that you're supposed to sniff in between to cleanse your palate, because if you sniff too many candles, they all start blending together and your olfactory system is like on the fritz, and basically it just turns gray, the smell version of gray. I feel like that's me when I hit a level of like I've done too much research, or I've like overanalyze my choices here, and now they're all kind of the same. That's where I got to with these 4. Another benefit of this for me is that it means that I can go longer in between shopping for new products or going to the store, because I don't know about you, if I'm in the store, I'm going to be spending money, and I'm often going to be spending money on more than I just came in for, because, well, what can I say? This way, it genuinely saves me money, and it saves me money because I'm still using all of these products, and I also get to shop my own stash. If you're somebody who gets bored of things really easily, or for skincare products, for me, my skin gets used to things really easily, and even if I had a holy grail product, oftentimes if I use it for long enough, my skin just gets used to it, and then it doesn't hit the same. This keeps it switching up. I get to try new things, which is exciting. Gives me a little bit of dopamine every time I get to reach into my closet and pull out a new one. Also, it is self-motivating for me to actually finish the product, because my deal with myself is that I don't get to open a new one until I finish the one I have. So I get to finish it, and then you don't have any delay in the reward of like, oh, I finish a product and then I get to go to the store and go buy another one. No, you immediately get to open a new one that you're already excited about, because past you did all the mental work to narrow it down to ones that you genuinely want to try. So you're actually excited to try the ones you have, and it's perfect. And then once I kind of have an idea of what I like, I can either go back to the store, repeat this process, but have narrowed in my preferences, especially for something that I don't have wide preferences on yet, and I know what I'm looking for, or I just can pick the one I liked the best because I made my own custom sampler set, and then rebuy that one. It's amazing. It's a perfect system. Okay, it's not a perfect system, and now I'm going to talk about when I don't think to use this system. The sort of checklist of things to be like, check, 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 check. Okay, implement this system, okay? Because I'm looking out for you, and this doesn't apply to everything. There's kind of 4 checklist items to consider when you're thinking about, is XYZ product a good candidate for this shopping strategy? And then also a little and also a little sort of qualifying question that I'm going to tag on to the end there. Okay, first one. Is it consumable? I think products like this and products like my electrolyte powder are great candidates for this, because you're going to use them anyway, and you're going to use them up, and you're going to have to buy new. So might as well have a little bit of fun, figure out some things, try some things. Second, kind of goes with the first of, do I use it every day? So especially products that hit the 1-2 of their consumable products that you use every day anyways, like the ones I've given as examples, those are great candidates. this also, like, it's a little tricky because I did mention underwear as an example, which I do think was a good example for this, because even though it's not consumable, I'm not like using a pair of underwear and then throwing it out. That would be loony. But because of the level of importance for that item, and like, I use it every day, and it is very important that I use it every day, I considered it as an option. Third thing is cost, like cost per item. Again, as I mentioned very much earlier in this, things like a computer, a camera, like those high cost non-consumable items that maybe you don't use every day, not a good candidate for this. I'm not recommending you go out and like buy 4 computers. No, we're not doing that. To recap, number 1, is it consumable? Number 2, do I use it every day? Number 3, what is the cost per item? And then to number 4, do I already have existing preferences on this? Like, if you have your tried and true items, you don't need to be doing this. Like, just get the thing that you get and you like. Done. But is this something where, like, I don't have strong preferences yet, or I feel unsatisfied with the version of this I have already? I'm looking for a new thing. Like, that's main reason why I did this with my moisturizer to start with, because I had a moisturizer, but I was like, I really like it, but I am kind of bored, and there are some things that I don't like about it, and maybe there is a better option for me out there. And that's why I did it initially. The same with like the electrolyte powder was, I have gotten into needing more electrolytes in my day-to-day, and my needs changed, and I didn't know what was out there. I didn't know what was out there, and I didn't know what I liked because I hadn't tried any of it. So this was a perfect strategy for that, because instead of bulk buying something on a whim that I would like it, buying smaller quantity of a few different things to try, I could curate my own preferences and figure out what would better inform my purchasing decisions in the future in this category. Very helpful. And then the last thing that I said was like the more qualifying question. Now this one, you're gonna have to get real. You're gonna have to like look yourself in the mirror and get super real with yourself and ask yourself, am I using this method as an excuse for overconsumption? And only you can answer that. That's a you and you conversation. Have a little one-on-one, a tete-a-tete. Figure that out. And then if the answer is, yeah, maybe it is, then just take a step back. Reel it back in. Take a step back. It's all good. You figured it out. You ask the question, you answer the question. No need to feel bad, but like, take a step back. Anyways, okay. I hope that was helpful. I feel like this system has helped me so much, especially when I'm like in the store, overwhelmed, hunched in the corner with the like little patch of cell signal, trying to like voraciously Google product names to try to find reviews, and then like sweating, and like the overhead lighting is just giving me a headache, and I'm like, ah! This has really helped for that. Maybe that was too specific of an example. So I hope it helps you. Also, just a reminder that societally, there seems to be this stereotype that like non-men are shopaholics, that they're like can't handle money, when statistically, women are better with money. And that's the door, and that's my cue to leave. Okay, good night, everybody. But I am actually going to leave and go answer the door. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye!